What are we playing to this time?
How about a game of MVP?
All right, let's do it.
Ahead of the 2022 season, MLB Network revealed their top 100 players list. Scrolling to the bottom of the list, we see some former MVPs, Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich. Not only are they former MVPs, they were ranked as top 10 players ahead of the 2021 season. While they've had decent starts to the 2022 season, they've struggled in recent years. Injuries seem to be the main factor, but I'm not here to look for the causes behind their sudden regressions. It wasn't too long ago when these two were in a season-long battle for not only National League MVP, but for the Triple Crown as well, as they sought to become the first National League Triple Crown winner since 1937. This MVP race was one of the best in recent memory, and today, we'll be going back in time to relive it all. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek. Live events are back, and that means you can get $20 off tickets at SeatGeek with the promo code STORM. If you don't know what SeatGeek is, it's a ticketing app that finds tickets from all over the internet and puts them all into one place. It's an app I've used in the past, and I'll be using it for Padres games this season. Besides baseball, SeatGeek makes it super simple to find good deals for events like basketball games, soccer games, concerts, and even festivals. SeatGeek wants you to get a good deal, so make sure you're looking out for the green dots. Green means you got a good deal. Red, not so much. And don't worry, I got you, because if you use the code STORM at checkout, you get $20 off your first purchase. That's $20 off your first purchase with the code STORM. Click the link in the description to download the app today. Christian Yelich was a first-round pick by the Marlins in the 2010 draft, and he was called up on July 23, 2013. Yelich's most successful Marlins season came in 2016 when he won a Silver Slugger and got some MVP votes. His final season with the Marlins came in 2017 as 1/3 of one of the best outfields in baseball, along with Marcell Ozuna and 2017 MVP Giancarlo Stanton. However, a fire sale after the 2017 season led to the trades of Stanton, Ozuna, D. Gordon, and finally, Yelich. Yelich's Marlins tenure was interesting. He was never a superstar like Stanton, but he was one of the most consistent hitters in baseball. Between 2014 and 2017, only 13 players ended each season with an OPS of at least 760, while playing at least 125 games per year. Fun fact, Yelich was the only player in this group to not make an All-Star game in this time frame. However, Yelich not only forced his way into his first All-Star game in 2018, his historic second-half hot streak led to Yelich not only winning his second Silver Slugger, but the National League MVP award as well. Yelich led the National League in stats like batting average, OPS, and OPS+, but unfortunately, he was a few home runs and RBI short of a Triple Crown. Still, an MVP is a nice consolation prize, especially when much of his success came in the second half of the season. Since 1901, on only 18 different occasions has a player ended their second half with an OPS of at least 1215. Players on this list include Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, and Rogers Hornsby. At 26 years old, Yelich had flourished into a young superstar. However, at the same time, there was another young outfielder making buzz around the league. That player was Dodgers outfielder Cody Bellinger. Unlike Yelich, Bellinger wasn't a first-round pick. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 2013 draft. Like Yelich, Bellinger became a consensus top prospect ahead of his rookie season. In his 2017 rookie campaign, Bellinger not only won the National League Rookie of the Year award, he was one of the best hitters in baseball. Pitchers started to figure out how to pitch to Bellinger in 2018, but at 22 years old, Bellinger had time on his side. Ahead of the 2019 season, these two guys were at different stages in their careers. Yelich was the reigning MVP looking to go back-to-back, while Bellinger was looking to bounce back from a sophomore slump. Who would have thought that these two would become the focal point in the next MVP race? Well, luckily for baseball fans, we didn't have to wait too long for these guys to face off.
0-2 pitch. Bellinger pulls it on a bounce to first. A race to the bag. The Bellinger wins. So the tying run 90 feet away now. High drive, forget about it. A missile to put him in front.
Aguilar gets into one, left center field, and that's to the wall. Yelich rounding third, and he will score on an RBI double. bubble.
His average to 426 and a fly ball deep down the right field line. If it's fair, it is gone, and it is gone. A home run. It's a bobblehead night home run for Cody Bellinger.
Yeli and the Brewers may have won the series, but Belli was better on an individual level. Still, these two had started off the season red hot, and there was no telling what their stats would look like by their next matchup. Would the young up-and-comer Bellinger have the upper hand over Yelich? Or would the reigning MVP continue his incredible success? Well, coincidentally, Bellinger and Yelich had one more series against each other. When was it? 1 week later.
Full count on Bellinger. Here it comes. He swings, launches a ball to right center, and guess who? Bellinger breaks the scoreless tie in the 6th.
Yelich a fly ball. Pollock going back. It's gone. Number 10 for Christian Yelich. 27 RBIs. And a fly ball. Deep right field. Yelich, number 11. And this man's at the plates. And a fly ball hit back into left center field. And he has done it again. And he takes a curveball deep to right. Unbelievable.
I think that just should be an upgrade on his stats.
Fly ball to right center field. Bellinger to the track, to the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. Is there anything Bellinger can't do? Bellinger turns on a ball to right field and deep. They have done it again. Bellinger off Hader. The Dodgers take the lead in the 9th.
This time around, Belli and the Dodgers won the series, while Yelich had more individual success, with all of his hits in this series being home runs. Over this span of 7 games, these two guys put on quite the show, each giving a glimpse of what the rest of the season was going to look like. By the end of the first month, Bellinger and Yelich were firmly ahead of everyone else, each sporting a WRC plus over 200. But Bellinger was the one who received the National League Player of the Month award. He set a bunch of records, including most total bases, hits, and RBIs before May 1st. But both Yeli and Belli joined an elite group of players. Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, Christian Yelich, and Cody Bellinger are the only players to hit 14 home runs before May 1st. A-Rod won his 3rd career MVP that season, while reigning MVP Albert Pujols fell short to Ryan Howard's 58 home run season. If these stats were an indication of anything, it's that this MVP race was going to be something special. These guys actually slowed down a bit in May. A back injury was the culprit for Yelich, while Bellinger just fell back to earth after an historic month. Fast forward another month, and each of their season stats were very similar. This led to Yelich becoming the first player in the league to reach 30 home runs. He did this on July 1st, becoming the first Brewer to hit 30 home runs before the All-Star break. However, it's not like Bellinger was that far off. He was only 3 behind Yelich. Still, it was incredible to watch these players perform every game. And these guys were not slowing down. Obviously, both Yelich and Bellinger made the All-Star game and were the leading vote-getters in the National League. The only player to surpass them was Mike Trout. To be fair, it's easy to forget how good Trout is. But knowing the AL MVP race was Trout's to lose, this made everyone turn their eyes to Belli and Yeli. Each player had produced many memorable moments in the first half of the season, like Yelich's walk-off double to conclude an unlikely team comeback, and Bellinger's 2 home run performance that concluded with a monster walk-off home run. But to truly run away with the award, these guys needed to produce even more.
You know, we had that series in early April where it seemed like everybody was going back and forth. We played each other in the playoffs. Cody had to hit that homer in the 2nd inning there in Game 7. But,
My bad.
you know, what are you going to do? It's fun to watch.
2-2. Yelich, a drive, right center, and it's a grand slam! To the Dodgers, he swings away, hammers the ball, forget about this one. A bullet of a home run to tie the game. Swings away, high drive, right center field. This game is tied. And
By the end of August, Yelich and Bellinger were still neck and neck. Even with Anthony Rendon and Ketel Marte making their cases, Yeli and Belli were the leaders of this race. They led the National League in stats like slugging percentage, OPS, home runs, and WRC+. But we're left with this question. Who could pull away in this final month of games? Despite how well they were playing, Bellinger was still on a downward trajectory since the beginning of the year, while Yelich turned in his second worst monthly performance in August. But each player's first 8 games of September provided an interesting twist to the race. While Bellinger's trajectory continued, Yelich was on fire. The stark contrast of these games signified a possible turning point in this race. In particular, Yelich's performance on September 7th included his second walk-off of the season, but it also included his first 3 stolen base game of the year. Something I haven't touched on in this video is Yelich's base running. On this day, he stole his 30th base of the season, a career high and the 5th most in the league. Yelich had joined the 40-30 club, something that has happened only 13 times in MLB history. But he only needed 6 home runs to become the first ever player to make the 50-30 club. Considering his start to the month, this was certainly doable. However, on September 10th, one at-bat changed everything.
First for Christian Yelich.
Here's a ball squibbed foul off the foot of Yelich, and it rolls up to the first base coach.
Yelich is trying to shake it off as best he can. We're starting to get into the territory where he may not be able to stay in this game.
This resulted in a broken kneecap, which sidelined Yelich for the rest of the season. His part in the MVP race was over. However, with a possible 16 games left to play, Bellinger could solidify his case. How did he perform? Well, he played 15 of the 16 possible games. And while he didn't necessarily surpass Yelich offensively, Bellinger had already solidified himself as an overall more valuable player, in particular with his defense. Bellinger was not only a fantastic hitter, he was one of the best defenders in baseball, someone who could play multiple positions and excel doing it. Bellinger was the National League's most complete player, someone who's the best player on the best team in the National League. While Yelich was the better and more consistent hitter, his defense and injury ultimately put Bellinger over the edge. Bellinger gained 9 more first-place votes than Yelich and received his award in mid-November. It's fun to debate these kinds of topics, like if Yelich didn't get injured, could he have joined the 50-30 club? Should Yelich's injury have impacted his case? Nonetheless, it doesn't matter now. Both of these guys are MVPs in back-to-back seasons, and while their careers have fallen off a little bit, at one point they were each at the top of the baseball world. This is something every player dreams of accomplishing. But as we've learned with this MVP race and the events of subsequent seasons, careers can be altered in an instant and may never be the same again. So let's appreciate the players who are performing right now, and remember the greatness that some players once showcased, because that's what makes this game so special. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.